Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. Today, it is from E. Joseph Kosman, who said, "Obstacles are things a person sees when he takes his eyes off his goal." Wow, think about that for a second. There are obstacles there, but if you choose to focus on them, they can really distract you. And that got me to thinking about distractions. How many times do you think distractions were talked about in the Bible? Well, I just did a quick search, and there are a few times actually. Let me just bring up a couple of them, okay? Martha was distracted by doing the good works that she was doing instead of spending time with Jesus. Yeah, that became a distraction to her. She was so focused on what she was doing that she couldn't just enjoy his presence in the moment. Samson was distracted from his purpose. Wow, think about that. The whole thing with that woman, Delilah. David was distracted from what he had in the book of Samuel. And you can read account after account of how people were distracted by focusing on the obstacles. That's the thing we have to remember. We don't need to focus on the obstacles. It's easy to concentrate on problems and forget to see the thing you wanted in the first place. Concentrating only on the mechanical steps of doing your job is another way to forget all about one's goals. So, you've got to keep the big picture in mind. Where are you going? What is your end goal? Well, don't let all the circumstances, all the obstacles distract you from that. Overcome them one by one, and you can overcome them. You know why? Because you're not alone. No, our Heavenly Father is with you every step of the way, giving you everything you need to overcome. And you know what? If you didn't need to hear that this morning, I did. The power of a simple question. You know, sometimes I think that we quite underestimate the power of our words and what kind of effect they have on other people. Let me tell you the story of Jamie Harrington. Okay, he lives in Dublin, Ireland, and he was on his way to a store, right? He says this: "I was just on my way to the American Sweet Shop to buy some Gatorade when I saw this guy in his mid-30s sitting on the ledge of the bridge. I just thought, wow." I stopped and asked him if he was okay, but I knew from the look in his eyes he wasn't. And he didn't say anything either, but I saw tears coming from his eyes. I pleaded with him for a while to come down and sit on the steps, and eventually he did. We sat on the sidewalk and talked for about 45 minutes about what was happening to him, why he was feeling that way. I couldn't leave him there alone, but I had to go. So I was going to call an ambulance. I told him they could help him feel better. But he was like, "Please, don't call them. I'm fine. I just want to walk around for a while. I'm going to be okay." Well, he eventually accepted Jamie's request and was taken to the hospital. And before they left each other, the two exchanged phone numbers. And about 3 months ago, Jamie says, he texted me that his wife is pregnant, they're having a boy, and they're naming him after me. Can you believe that? They're going to name their child after me. He said in that moment that I approached him, he was just about to jump. And those few words saved his life. They're still ringing in his head every day, he says. "Are you okay?" I can't really understand how these few words could save his life, but he told me, imagine if nobody ever asked you those words. Sometimes all it takes is a moment of genuine concern, a kind word, a simple question to make a world of difference. And Jamie's story is a beautiful reminder that each of us has that potential to be a hero in someone else's life by reaching out and asking, "Are you okay?" Wow, the power of our words. That's what it's all about. Let's be aware of what's going on around us. Let's look for the people who are hurting and let's try to help them. If nothing else, let's be there to listen to them. Let them know, hey, you're not alone. I understand. It means a lot. Are you okay? Those 3 simple words can save someone's life. Wow. Right now it's 54 degrees in Boaz, 55 in Arab, it's 59 right now in Huntsville. It's very mild out there. Fall-like temperatures. Considering that Saturday is the official beginning of fall, I'm glad we're finally feeling these cooler temperatures. It actually made mowing the yard yesterday a little easier. Tell you what, we love bringing you a word of life every day because no matter the temperature outside, you need to be in the right headspace, and these words of life can get us there. From Isaiah 41:13 in the New Living Translation of the Bible, "For I hold you by your right hand, I, the Lord your God, and I say to you, don't be afraid. I am here to help you." Wow, what a promise. Hey, you know what? That's good news worth sharing. Why don't you do that? Share it with somebody today. We've got it ready for you across all of our socials. That's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, and it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. And guess what else is at the top of that website? The On Now button. You click that and you can listen to us from wherever you happen to be, like they're doing right now in Birmingham, Alabama, and all the way across the ocean and in Helsinki, Finland. Thanks for making us part of your day. It really means a lot. You're a part of our story of 28 years of reaching this world with some really good news. And whether you're listening to us on the stream or the radio, we are thankful for you. There's something pretty special happening at Albertville High School. I've got to tell you about it. I'm really excited because if you know anything about me, you know I'm a musician. I've been playing drums since I was 10 years old, right? And it was through playing at church that I actually got to learn how to play the drum set. And then, well, they found out at school that I could play drums. Guess what they did? They put me in marching band, playing drum set on the sideline in the pit, and it was so much fun. The next year, well, I started marching snare. And so I loved that position. I loved being out there marching. It's amazing how it all meshes together. Well, it has to do a little something with a snare player at Albertville High School. Stick around. I'll tell you a little bit more about her. Jones. Lisa Jones. That's her name. She's a junior at Albertville High School. And guess what? She is the section leader of the drum line. And you're like, Steven, big deal. There's always a section leader of the drum line. But did you hear her name? Her name, Lisa Jones, the first female section leader of the percussion department in 30 years. That's a huge accomplishment. I found this story over at sandmountainreporter.com, and you should totally check it out because it's a pretty cool thing. You see, Carrie Quinn, she marched snare for 3 years at Albertville High School, and she was a section leader, but that was all the way back in 1985. So when she found out about Lisa, she eagerly messaged her parents, "Your daughter needs to be celebrated. There hasn't been a female section leader in over 30 years. I'm so proud of her accomplishment in a male-dominated field." How cool is that? Yes, that's awesome. So she is one of 3 young ladies that are on the drum line. Brenda Garcia on tenors and Stephanie Avila on bass drums. So to become section leader, you know what it takes? You have to apply for the position. The director gives the position to whoever they believe is the most qualified and deserving of it. And when asked about her band season so far, Lisa answered, "It's been more difficult than previous years because it's a huge responsibility, and it's taken so much time working on consistency and making sure I know my music through and through so I can help others and be confident in my own abilities." Wow, she's really been grinding. I love this. So, you know, at first, Lisa was really reluctant to join the band, but her parents encouraged her, and she tried out for percussion, and she was accepted. She said, "I decided that if I were to join, I wanted to be on a drum. And I was lucky enough to get chosen for the percussion section." From then, her ultimate goal was to be center snare, where she's at right now as a junior. She says, "I remember talking to my friends about how it would be so fun. Then freshman year, my first year on snare line, I had great leadership to look up to, and that really inspired me to push for that goal. And it means a lot that I can be in that position to be other people's inspiration and influence." How cool is that? Wow, Lisa Jones, congratulations to you. That's an amazing accomplishment. Keep up the good work. All right, just had to shout out a local celebrity right here in our area. Hey, whenever I find good news like this, I love to share it. But can I be honest? Sometimes I miss a story or two. So if you know of something big happening in our listening area, in our community, something big happening in your world, then I want you to email me. Would you please? It's real easy. Steven, that's with a V, Steven, at 885jfm.com. So I can talk about it on the radio, and we can celebrate some other local celebrities as well. But Lisa, that's so cool. Like I said, keep up the good work. You got a bright future ahead of you, girl. Dare I say it's a little bit chilly outside? Yeah, you know what? It's so funny. Last night we had vegetable soup for dinner, and usually we do that when it's colder outside. And I mean, it's par for the course because it is definitely cooler. These milder temperatures, I'm absolutely loving. Right now, we're talking about 50s, 55 in Scottsboro, 56 in Coleman and Bluentsville, 59 right now, the warm spot right here in Gunnersville. And we love bringing you a word of life every day. I mean, when you have good weather like this, it already puts you in a good mood, but you see this word of life, it puts you in a great headspace, specifically this one. Isaiah 41, verse 13, in the New Living Translation of the Bible says, "For I hold you by your right hand, I, the Lord your God, and I say to you, don't be afraid. I am here to help you." Wow, that's good news. That's worth sharing with somebody. So why don't you do that? We've got it ready for you across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Hey, you know, earlier I was telling you we had some listeners, and one of them particularly down in Birmingham, Alabama. Well, just got a little text message, and it's from our friend Joel Modis. He is the one listening to us in Birmingham this morning. Yeah, usually he's listening to us from Palm Coast, Florida, but you see, he's visiting some family. Yeah, actually, visiting my son who plays clarinet in the UAB marching band. He texted me, saw his halftime show on Saturday at the football game, heading back to Palm Coast today. Have a blessed day. You too, Joel Modis, and safe travels. I pray that God protects you and your wife on your way back home, that everything is smooth and you get home safely. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Hey, tell you what, I've got 15 minutes until I get to play with you. A car line competition. Are you ready for it? I sure hope so. I've got something pretty exciting to share between now and then, too. So definitely keep those ears peeled, okay? All right. Now back to 1991 with Mac Powell. I love this song. Turn it up. It was 10 years after 1991 that one particular animated movie hit the screens. It's big and green, and, well, let's just say that something's probably about to happen. Another movie in the franchise, and even some signature shoes to kind of welcome it. Stick around, we'll get into it next, right after Evan Kraft and Desperado. Way back in the year 2001, there was a movie that came on the scenes that people really fell in love with. It was this character who was big and green and ugly. He's an ogre, and his name is Shrek. And, you know, he found Fiona, and there's Donkey, and there's the gingerbread man, and there's all of those fairy tale creatures as part of Shrek's world, right? There were multiple movies that came out, 4 exact, but, you know, there have been some spin-offs as well, like Puss in Boots. That came from that franchise as well. Well, there's a little bit of news when it comes to that movie franchise. Yeah, in fact, you know, back when the Super Mario Brothers movie was a big deal, when they were bringing it out, well, there were some interviews going on. And during that recent interview with Variety about that Super Mario Brothers movie, Chris Meledandri, he's the CEO of Illumination and a creative partner of DreamWorks, the animation studio that launched the Shrek franchise all the way back in 2001. He confirmed plans for the sequel. Yeah, they're trying to bring back all of the main cast members. Mike Myers as Shrek, Cameron Diaz as Fiona, Eddie Murphy as Donkey, Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots. The voice of all these characters coming back. Could you imagine a 5th film? I can't wait for it. My daughter Grace absolutely loves the Shrek movies, and you better believe when we can catch a Shrek the musical at some of these local high schools and the junior theater leagues, we love going to watch it. So much fun. But hey, they're doing something to prepare everybody, to get everybody's mind back on Shrek over at the Croc Company. In fact, they're coming out with these new clogs. They're Shrek themed. Guess what? They're green. They're called Lime Punch. That's the official color name of Shrek. That's the color of these Crocs. Now, these Crocs are outfitted with Shrek's ears up top near where your ankle fits into the shoe. Plus, it's got a big green nose toward the end. And on the very back, it's got a fuzzy brown strap. And that's to kind of, you know, remind you of Shrek's vest. It's a pretty cool looking Croc. It's a clog from the Croc Company, but it is pretty neat. And it's in limited supply right now. They just made this announcement back on September 12th that these things are out there. And right now, they're really in the kids and toddler sizes. And are there plans to have them in adult sizes? You know, I think they'll probably do it. So you just have to kind of keep your eyes and ears peeled to their website to find out. Because they're saying yes, but there are a limited number of adult Shrek Crocs. So they're kind of holding an online drawing to make the process fair to shoppers. So you just need to dig further if you want to find some for the bigger feet in your life. But other than that, to celebrate the franchise, Crocs also has some new gibbets. You know what those are? Those little charms that you wear on the outside of your Crocs. You can find Donkey and Shrek and Fiona and Dragon and Puss in Boots. You can find those to put on the Crocs that you already wear. So there you go. It's all about Shrek. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'll be keeping my eyes and ears peeled as to updates when it comes to how the film is doing, because this is going to be epic. Another film in the Shrek franchise is going to be great. You know how this works. Say it with me. In 3, 2, 1, give me the horn! All right, now let's crank the engine. Now let's go ahead and start the music so I can say, hey everybody, it's time to play the Car Line Competition. Your chance to win some gift cards this morning. We've got them to Wendy's, we've got them to Albertville Home Bakery, and to the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. And usually when you call in, you win 3, 1 to keep, 2 to give away. But because we had Chance call in last week and say, hey, I want to roll mine over, well, that means you got a chance to win 6 gift cards. And then because we had a Mr. Bud Williams call in and he guessed a couple of them and he kind of took them off the board for us, well, you got a 50-50 shot because you've only got 2 options instead of 4 today on this first question of the Car Line Competition. So here we go. Who was the first to produce vaccines for rabies, cholera, and anthrax? Here are your 2 options. Was it Marie Curie or Louis Pasteur? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, 256-505-0885. Who was the first to produce vaccines for rabies, cholera, and anthrax? Was it Marie Curie or Louis Pasteur? And let's just say that Louis Pasteur might sound similar to a process that you see in milk. In pasteurized milk? Does that have something to do with it? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Waiting on your call right now. In the meantime, Shane and Shane, you've already won. Okay, so we went through the process. We went ahead and did the 50-50, and then I didn't get a call, so you know what's happening to that question? Yeah, you better believe it's going straight into the trash. But hey, I've got another question here ready to go. I wonder if you know the answer to this question for your chance to win 6 gift cards right here on the Car Line Competition. Here we go. I hope you're ready for it. What is a word for the arch of the foot? Is it A, insole, B, in sync, C, insert, or D, in step? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, what is a word for the arch of the foot? Is it the A, insole, the B, in sync, the C, insert, or the D, in step? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Waiting on your call right now. I'm going to give somebody 6 gift cards this morning. Will it be you? Call me. 256-505-0885. Having some fun on this Car Line Competition. And a great song. Here's Jordan Feliz with The King is Alive. 88.5 JFM. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you?
I'm doing all right. What's your name?
Ava.
Ava, what you up to today?
Going to school.
Going to school? What are you doing that for, Ava?
Well, I have to. It's so long.
I understand. All right, so what are you doing at school today? What are you really looking forward to?
I don't really know.
You're just kind of
I would just get in the 8 in.
the lunchroom?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too some days.
I like their hot wings.
Oh yeah, hot wings are amazing. Do they still do the rectangle pizza?
Yes, sir. I think
Awesome. Well, very cool. Well, hey, let's get to this question. I got your chance to win 6 gift cards. And here it is. Your question goes as follows. What is a word for the arch of the foot? Is it the A, insole, the B, in sync, the C, insert, or the D, in step?
Instep.
The instep, is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, congratulations! You just won 6 gift cards. What do you think about that, Ava?
cool.
I think it's pretty cool too. Hey, here's the part that I really love. Now, I know that you've got some gift cards you can bless some other people with. So tell me about two very special people in your life that are going to be getting a gift card.
One is Eva Lemon, and the other one is Lakeland Lake.
Very cool. Tell me something special about that first one.
Eva, she is one of my best friends, and me and her have known each other since we were in kindergarten, I think. She moved, and then she came back to the AR, and then we knew each other from the get-go. We knew each other for I don't know how long.
Oh, that's awesome. And tell me something special about that second one.
And Lakeland, she is one of my friends too. She is so funny. She will be over there making all of us crack up. She goes with me down to my special teacher, and she will have me laughing the whole way.
That's awesome. Got some amazing friends, makes life more fun. What grade are you in, Ava?
I'm in 6th.
6th grade. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling and sharing the love with some people on the radio. I think it's great, and I hope you do have a great day at school. I got your address here, and I am going to get these gift cards sent your way. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
One last question, Ava. Why do you listen to this radio station?
I love the music, and it makes me feel like up, and when I'm going to school.
Awesome.
And when I'm anywhere.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you for listening. Ava, you're the reason why we're here. Have a great day, okay?
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
How cool is that? All 6 gift cards going out to Ava Collins. Congratulations. And I do hope you have a great day at school. I know sometimes Mondays it's like, again? A whole week? Again? Yeah, I know, but don't worry. It doesn't last as long as you think it does. Here I am at 41 years old, looking back at when I graduated high school, all the way back in the year 2000. Yeah, a lot of you kids weren't even thought of around the year 2000. I'm old. Anyway, I got another question here. I wonder if you have what it takes to win some gift cards. I got 3 on the line, and it's all about, well, here, you figure it out. What is a guanaco? Is it an A, relative of a llama, B, type of cacao bean? Is it C, a type of leather shoe, or is it D, a species of tropical bird? Which one? Guanaco. 256-505-0885 is the number to call. The question one more time. What is a guanaco? Spelled Guanaco. Is it A, a relative of the llama, B, a type of cacao bean, C, a type of leather shoe, or D, a species of tropical bird? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Now, I would love to shout some people out real quick. I see you listening to us all the way up in Pennsylvania. Let's see. Can I pinpoint where you are? I think so. Just outside of McDonald, Pennsylvania. Thank you for making us part of your day. Also, Atlanta, Georgia is hanging out. Birmingham, Joel Modis hanging out with us in Birmingham this morning. Heading back home to Palm Coast today. He was visiting his son at UAB. He plays clarinet in the band. How cool is that? Got to see the halftime show and all that. Thanks for hanging out, Joel. And plus, we got Gunnersville and Arab. That might be Savannah Mitchell listening right here in Gunnersville. Whether you're listening to us on the stream or the radio, just want to make sure you understand. We're thankful for you. You're a part of our story of 28 years of reaching the world with some really good news. We're celebrating 28 years this month, by the way. It's a pretty cool milestone, huh? Yeah, all right, so let's do this thing. I had this question, and I know it's kind of one of those things that you might not hear of very often. I have to be very careful and not give it away, but here we go. The question that I asked, I gave you 4 options. Well, I've got 2 for you now. So, here it is. What is a guanaco? Is it a relative of a llama, or is it a species of tropical bird? The number, 256-505-0885. You call, you answer, you win. Get 3 gift cards, keep 1, give 2 away. It's a blast. 256-505-0885. All right, back to the music that you love. I got Rachel Lampa here with Somebody to You. Good morning, Bud Williams.
What's the question now?
All right, here's the question. What is a guanaco? Is it a relative of the llama, or is it a species of tropical bird?
Relative of the llama?
You are correct, Bud Williams. Good job, man. You got it.
Roll them over.
All right, we'll do that, man.
Roll them over to some sweetheart. I'm still eligible back. So
I got you.
I got one thing to tell you.
What you got?
Well, we did it Saturday night, finally, didn't we?
Finally, it was a brutal
What's
game.
that tell you? Ty Simpson's the best quarterback now, don't it?
I think so. I think he's going to have to stick with Ty. Yep.
Nick Saban said he had the recipe to beat Ole Miss this weekend. You know what it was?
What?
Roy Dale Williams, the running back, and Ty Simpson.
That sounds like a plan to me.
I shout out to all my friends out there, Evelyn and all of them for listening. Shout out to them, hello, and roll them over to my friends.
All right. Will do, bud. Thanks for calling, man.
Thank you.
All right, bud. Have a good one. Bud Williams, guy with a big heart, always rolling those gift cards over. And yes, we get excited about some Alabama football, and we should. You know, it was rough watching this last game, especially with the weather delay. It made it last so much longer, and it was really slow at the beginning. But hopefully, like Bud said, they found the recipe for success this upcoming Saturday. We'll find out. I was just checking tickets, actually, for this Ole Miss game, and believe it or not, they're pretty affordable considering the other games are around $200 and something. Yeah, so I found them over on StubHub just to let you know in case you're wanting to go to the game. But hey, he rolled those gift cards over. That means we'll start tomorrow with 3 extra gift cards. So the first question will be loaded with 6 gift cards for the car line competition starting at 7 o'clock. All right. Hey, it's been a blast hanging out with you this morning. Thanks so much for making us part of your day. And whether you're listening to us on the radio or on the stream, I just want to make sure that you understand we're thankful for you. We really are. And right now, I see you listening to us in Birmingham. Joel Mott is hanging out with us there. Gunnersville, Arab, we got listeners there. Also Helsinki, Finland. And we've got our listeners just outside of Pittsburgh. It looks like just outside of McDonald, Pennsylvania. Thank you for making us part of your day as well. All right. Back to the music that you love. I got Brandon Lake. I love this song. It's called Praise You Anywhere. It's so good. Turn it up. The beauty of being a body of believers is that we are at varying stages of our faith walk. And there's some of us who've been doing it for a while who can really help the others who just started. But let's be honest, we never quite figure it out. And so we need some advice, some pointers, some tips, some tricks from time to time. And luckily we can turn to some people, well, who really understand that scripture and can convey it to us in a very mind-opening way. And those are some of our pastors. They just have a way with making the most complex things a little more simple for us to understand. Now, I came across this guy. His name is Brian Trent. He's from Hampton, South Carolina. He's a pastor, and he pastors the Lighthouse Church out there. He's got amazing content all over social media. I found him on TikTok. He goes by Trent Tribe. You can find him there. I want you to hear what he has to say. A little advice for all of us, no matter what level of our faith journey we're on. See what you think about this.
What if I could offer you one piece of advice that's guaranteed to help you grow in your faith and your walk with God? This works for the one that's brand new to the journey and trying to figure it all out, because it can be quite challenging. And it also works for the believer that's been in this for years. No one ever told me to do this, but after 33 years of walking with God and stumbling and tripping and falling and running from Him, I figured this much out. Don't make it about you. It shouldn't always be about us or our issues. As a matter of fact, it shouldn't be about us at all. I'm not denying you don't have challenges, and I'm not denying that your heart may be heavy. I'm not saying that there's not problems in your life, but how can making it about me more make it better? If all I really talk about is me and my issues, am I really focused on God? I'm not saying don't talk about your issues. You should give those to God. I'm just saying spend more time talking to God about who He is, and in the process, you'll remind yourself of who He is. Seriously, you listen to yourself more than you do anybody else. As we remind Him who He is, we're also reminding ourselves who He is. That's a big deal. The times that I found myself in the worst of places spiritually are also the times that I've been focused on me. Jesus said to seek ye first the kingdom of God and all His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. The things we seek are not going to be found focusing on ourselves. Psalm 16 also says that in His presence is fullness of joy, and His joy is our strength. That scripture says that also in that place that God will make known to me the paths of life. When we put the focus on God, God will show us great and mighty things. I guess you can say that our focus is better when the focus is on God.
When you're out and about in your community, there's so many things to see. You notice all the subtle changes, don't you? Well, how about those yard sales? I gotta be careful with those because I start looking at the yard sale stuff more than I'm looking at the road, and that's not too safe. Oh, I see a few things that pique my interest. I'm like, okay, we've got to go back. I've got to pull over. We got to go take a look at this stuff. A yard sale is just fun, right? And part of the fun of it is really haggling there at the end, trying to get the price down. But hey, I came across an idea for you. And now this lady put together a kindness yard sale. So all of the items are out in the yard, but none of them have prices on them. How does that work? Well, I'm so glad that I piqued your interest, because here is what it's for. You see, Susan has been doing this for 3 years now. And the first time she did it, she emptied her own closet and she put everything out there in the yard. But she told people, I don't have a price on these items because I want you to pay whatever you're willing to donate, because all the money raised from today's yard sale is going to go toward our community. Yeah, whether that is throwing a party for the Alzheimer's patients at the local nursing home, or maybe it's for buying Christmas presents for the needy kids this Christmas. It's always fun because you're always giving to the community as you're buying stuff there at the yard sale. She said, it's funny. Some people might, pick up 20 dresses for $20, while somebody else might pick up a stuffed teddy bear for $240. It's just how generous you are with your giving and how you want to impact the community. So it's a great way to kind of help the people who are hurting in her community right then with the stuff that she's selling. But then it's another great way to raise money for those people in need throughout the year and make sure they're taken care of. So I don't know, maybe this is something that could catch fire here. Maybe you should have a kindness yard sale. What do you think about that? I love it. So just a few more facts and figures about this. The first year that she did it, she raised just a little over $1,000. But the second year, over $11,000. And the community has really gotten on board, cleaning out their toy boxes and their closets and bringing all that they can to this yard sale so that people benefit right there in their community. How cool is that? I just had to share it with you. There's a lot of good stuff going on in this world, and as long as I keep finding this good news, I'll keep sharing it with you. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. The word bad is a 3-letter word. So how do you make bad better? Well, you add a few more letters to it. You add a few more A's from bad to bad. Stick around and I'll tell you how to have a bad day that's actually great. Sorry, I'm just milking this thing for all it's worth. It's a good story. It's become just a little more commonplace to be out and about in public, say at Walmart, wherever you're shopping, and you see somebody with a pet on a leash. Maybe it's their emotional support animal. And there's something cool about how animals can bring us a little bit of comfort, right? Well, I got a story for you about Carla. Carla was going through a pretty tough time. She just lost her grandmother, and her grandmother left some money to her. Now, Carla has 4 kids of her own. And so she did something a little out of the ordinary with the money that she got. She actually used that money to purchase a small flock of Swiss Valais black-nosed sheep. And then she got to work learning everything she could about being a shepherdess. They had never farmed before, but they quickly learned how to care for their flock. So keep in mind that Carla still has a full-time job while caring for 14 sheep. And they added to the farm as well, with a pony and a handful of rescued chickens. Her sheep have even won awards at the Royal Bath and West Show in 2022. Now, it's worth noting here that Carla does live across the pond over in the UK. But over the past few years, she's learned how spending time with animals is therapeutic. So she decided to hold an open barn event over the holidays so that locals could get to know her flock and experience the benefits of animal therapy. When she saw how happy her sheep made the visitors, she knew she had to continue to make them available to others. She said, if people can benefit from them, then it's a great thing to do. So she decided to kind of do her homework and figure out how she could bring these sheep from her farm to different places, like care homes and schools and anywhere else where people could use a little woolly love. So she started doing that, and she even plans to open up a cottage farm to visitors in the spring, once all of the new lambs are born, something that the visitors would really enjoy. Get an even bigger mental health boost watching the adorable new additions to the farm. Isn't that cool how animals can bring you a little bit of comfort? There's just something about being around them that just kind of grounds you a little bit. It's crazy, isn't it? It's a pretty cool little story. I just thought I'd bring it to you. Just never know where you can find a little comfort. And so that's what Carla's up to. So, hey, maybe you got sheep. Maybe something like that would benefit the people around you, your community. If you know of anything like that happening, hey, let me know about it. I'd love to talk about it on the radio. Send me an email, Steven@885jfm.com. Spell Steven with a V, by the way. Steven@885jfm.com. Or send me a direct message over on the socials. Without Mom, we couldn't make it. And regardless of what your relationship is with your mom, that's true. Because if she had not brought you into this world, you simply wouldn't be here. You have the gift of life because of her. And this is an open letter to Mom from Caitlin. She said, "Dear Mom, how could I ever find the words to describe how much you mean to me? All the times you told me how much you loved me growing up, but never fully realizing the magnitude of those words until I had children of my own. I'm grown, married, and a mama to my own herd of children, but I'll never stop needing you. I'll never stop needing the way you step in to help when I feel like I'm drowning. I'll never stop needing to hear your voice when I pick up the phone to call you and tell you about the most random things. I'll never stop needing you to hug me and pat my hair like you did when I was little. I watched you sacrifice and put us first time and time again. I watched you make sure our needs were always met first before your own. I watched you give your all to make sure you raised good humans. Mama, I'll never be too old to ask you what you're making me for supper on my birthday. I'll never be too old to sit on your couch with a cup of coffee while we visit. I'll never be too old to call you for advice and wisdom. Dear Mom, I'll never be too old to stop needing you. Thank you for everything you do for me every day. Thank you for mothering me still today. Here's to the mamas." Wow, Caitlin really has a way with words, and I think we all can relate with that. Enjoy your mom today. Some people don't have the luxury of having mom around, and there are just memories there, and it's sad. And it's happy at the same time because those are tears of joy from the great memories, but those are tears of loss from her not being here anymore. It's hard, but if there's a mom in your life, love them extra special today. If you haven't talked to Mom in a while, call her. If you haven't seen her, go see her as soon as you can. Let her know how much you love her. It'll make a big difference. It'll light up her world. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. How do you deal with hurt? A hurt heart. It's not easy, is it? Yeah, let's talk about it. Coming up next.
I'd say one of the most surprising things I've realized in my lifetime is that not a single one of the scars on my heart are from an enemy.
Isn't it crazy how true that is? Because the scars on our heart come from people that we love. Because they can hurt us the most. Isn't it crazy how when we get mad at one another, we are ready just to tear each other apart? It's crazy. And I know we're not supposed to be that way. We're supposed to love each other as ourselves, but sometimes the anger, well, it gets the better of us. And we decide to exploit some weaknesses in that person's life. And our friend, our family member, we see some weaknesses there and we just like to remind them of them. Or we remind them of failures in the past and it just comes back and it's like we never let it go. It's crazy. All those hurt spots, those scars, they come from the ones you love the most. I hate that it is that way. But you know what? One thing I've found is this life is all about relationships. And if you treat a relationship anything like you treat a family member, then you realize that you're going to have your ups and downs. But in a family, you don't write each other off. You don't say you're dead to me and never speak to them again. No, you work it out. And it's really hard to do with those people outside of your family because they're optional. You don't have to see them on a daily basis. In some cases, I guess you do if you work with the people, but otherwise you could change your environment, be away from that person altogether, not have to deal with them anymore. But then the next time you see them in Walmart, you're avoiding them like the plague. Yeah, you see them come and you turn around and you go down a different aisle. You try to hide because you don't want any kind of altercation. You don't want any kind of conversation even. So I don't even want them to see me. I feel so hurt because of what they did. You know what? That's a hurt that takes a long time to heal from because you don't trust that person anymore. But here's the deal. The Bible is very explicit in telling us, even in those circumstances, it is our responsibility to forgive. And that is one of the hardest things ever because they're the ones who did us wrong. Why should I forgive them? But you know what? It's all for the good. He knows what he's talking about, and he knows how to help you heal from that hurt. So if that's you this morning, and you've been going through a lot with that, why don't you talk with your Heavenly Father about that whole situation and start to forgive that person that caused you so much hurt? And then watch that weight start to lift off your shoulders, and you will feel brand new. You'll feel lighter, and you'll be a lot happier if you just let it go, because after all, the forgiveness is not really for them. The forgiveness is more for us. You know, sometimes social media gets a bad rap. It's like, yeah, there's all this bad stuff on there, but you know what? I have found some really good stuff. And you know, when I find the good stuff, I got to bring it to you. So I found this over on TikTok, and I thought, whoa, this is the inspiration that we all need today. Phil had a little something to say, just straight to the camera, to all of us this morning. What was his message? Well, here, see what you think about this.
If I am part of your world, I promise to bring you my best today. If you are part of my world, I'm asking you, please bring me your best today. It's really that simple. It ain't always easy, but it's very simple. Bring your best today. I know you can do this. I know you can do this. I love you. I believe in you. Please believe in yourself.
I think we all need to hear that. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. So let's bring our best today. You know why? Because, well, I read the end of the book, and turns out that you've already won. So if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that I'm a sucker for those motivational, inspirational kind of things over on the socials. Yeah, the self-help, the life coach kind of inspiration. And I share some of it right here on the radio. Whether it's Tony Robbins or, I don't know, it could be a myriad of different people. I'm thinking of a few others just right off the top of my head. But let's get to this one, because I don't think I've ever played anything from him before. His name is Ed Mylett, and you may have seen him over on YouTube or maybe even on TV. This guy is all over the place. And he has something to say about making decisions in the moment. And I thought it was worth mentioning, but I'm not going to leave you hanging, because I'm going to give you his comment, but then we're going to give you some steps to make it happen. So here, see what you think about this.
You've got to start to build a habit of being decisive. Successful people, happy people, leaders are decisive people. The vast majority of problems that arise in your life should be solved immediately. Like 85% of them. Resolved immediately. Make a decision, massive certainty, take action, it's gone.
What do you think about that? Yeah? It's a lot easier said than done, right? I find myself trying to make decisions all the time at the grocery store. Or say I go in for just one thing, and I see that one thing that I want, but there's another brand, and it's a little cheaper. Should I get that one? Should I get this one? I stand there for a minute. Oh my goodness. It's hard to make a decision in the moment, but the quicker we can do it, the faster we can move on to other things. So, if you find yourself taking some time to make that decision, maybe too long, maybe you get a little paralyzed, maybe it stunts you, maybe you've just got to stop everything you're doing to just make that decision and it takes too long. Well, I've got some steps, some tips to help you be able to master that quickly, okay? The first one, identify the problem. What's the difference between weighing your options, which is a good thing when it comes to making decisions, and overthinking? Because that's basically what's happening, right? If you've examined the pros and cons of a situation and still can't decide, and if you're now trapped in a negative spiral of thoughts, you probably moved beyond uncertainty to paralysis. Oh, I know that's happened to me before. It happens all the time, right? How about you? And second step, figure out what's making you feel paralyzed. Are you overthinking every decision, even small ones like what to wear or watch? Try to identify what you're afraid of if you make the wrong decision. Do you fear being judged by others? Have you made a wrong choice before that you worry about repeating? Understanding why you struggle with making decisions is another good step toward fixing the problem. I've got a few more of these. I want to share them with you as the show goes on. I don't want to take up too much of your time right now. So tell you what, we're going to hit some music and I'll come back and talk on this topic a little more a little later on, okay? Thanks for hanging out with me right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. We've covered just a few of these topics, a couple steps of how to get yourself to thinking more quickly, making a decision in the moment without letting it paralyze you. Yeah, so here is the next step. Don't sweat the small stuff. Practice being more decisive with things that won't have lasting consequences. It might feel scary at first, but it'll train your brain to stress less about the nuances of every choice. For everyday decisions like what to watch on TV or what to have for lunch, don't waste time pondering it. Just go with the first thing that sounds good and see what happens. Yeah, that's a great way to train your brain. Number 4, don't get obsessed. We know that's easier said than done, but it's important not to let the decision take over your life. Stress and anxiety cause real physical reactions in the body that can upset your stomach and lead to high blood pressure and even panic attacks. Oh, by the way, those things are no fun. I've had them. I don't recommend. Instead of letting those feelings take control, schedule some time each day when you can devote your full attention to considering the decision at hand. Set a time limit and stick to it. And here is one, the last one I want to cover in this break. It's trust yourself. Maybe you've made a wrong choice in past situations and now you're worried you'll do it again. Try to think positively. You definitely learn from it, so trust yourself to make better decisions this time around. Remind yourself of all the times when you made the right decision, even something as typical as waking up to go to work. And give yourself all the pep talks you need to remember that even if things go wrong, you'll still be okay. So there you go. Just a few more steps on how to be more decisive in the moment. And hey, I'm preaching to myself here because I take forever to make decisions as well. So we're all learning together. I love doing life with you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show.